Hello, hello everyone. How are you doing? I hope you're well. And like I said in my previous video, this month, November, we're gonna talk about business mindset. Because if you have never run the business, it is very, very difficult to build the business owner mindset. If you're working in a corporate job, the employee's mindset is completely different from business owner mindset. If you're always running a small business and you want to grow it and develop it and scale it, again, that is a different mindset. The small business owner mindset is completely different from the big business owner mindset, from an entrepreneur. I'm always struggling to say that word, but because my English is not my first language, so I always use it as an excuse. But you know what I mean. Okay, so when I started my business, I was really struggling with the business owner mindset because I worked in corporate all my life. I worked at school. I worked in let's say shops. I worked in accounting, and all of that was big organizations. Oh my God, I've got something in my eye. All of that were big organizations, and you go in, you do your job, you get paid for it. Whether you do your job well or you don't, you still get paid for it. If you haven't done something, there's probably someone else in your team that's going to do it. So you still get paid for it. A lot of corporate companies, they have their values somewhere plaque on a wall where it says that accountability, responsibility, teamwork is one of the values. But like most of the corporate companies, their values just on a wall. They don't live them. So I was really struggling with that. And I see a lot of my clients struggling with that as well. So first of all, you need to change that identity. And identity is something very deep. Identity is something that you identify yourself with. And identity is probably most of the time is something that you're not aware of. It's very deep unconscious belief. So how do you know what you identify yourself with? It's when people ask you, what do you do? When you don't say, oh, I do accounts or I do events, you say, I am. Whatever comes after I am, that is your identity. So if you want to know what kind of identities you have, because there's more than one, definitely more than one, just sit down and start writing, I am, and whatever comes after that is your identity. I am a mother. I am a sister. I am a daughter. I am a business owner. I am an accountant. I am a doctor. I am a lawyer. Whatever comes after I am, and write quite a few things. And you will know what kind of identities you carry with you. To change identity is actually, you do change them, when you change your career or some identities, I think, is much more difficult to change than the others. Let's say if you are identify yourself as a mother, as a parent, even in those sad cases when a child dies, you still feel as a mother. You technically, you're not anymore, but you still feel as a mother. So this is a strong identity of yourself. Some people, when they had career in one field and then retire, they still identify as that person that they were at work. And sometimes when people retire, or when they let's say are being made redundant, they lose that identity and they lose their purpose. It's like that identity, if you lost it, they don't know who they are anymore. That's how strong identity is. So how do you go around building that business owner identity? Well, first of all, you need to know, what do you think the business owner is like? What do you think they need to be like us to be successful in the business? Do they need to be, have very strong sense of responsibility, accountability? Do they have to have very good communication skills? what is it? What is the list? When you look at someone, if you don't know it, look at someone who you think is very successful in business and think, why do you think they are successful in business? Well, obviously, probably because you think their business is doing well. But why do you think their business is doing well? What is it that they have that you think they need to have to run that successful business? And then from that, write a list. When I did that for myself and I do for my clients, write a list of the things that they think they need to have as a personality trait to be successful in running their own business. And then, you know, there's that like sequence: be, do, have. Or is it do, be, have? Be, do, have. You have to be someone, to do something, to have something, whatever you want. So let's say if whatever you have, so you go backwards, you step, you go backwards step by step and analyze. Okay, so for me to have the successful business, the last step is to have successful business. What does it mean exactly? How do you identify successful business? When do you think you're going to be successful? What is the criteria? Is it money? Is it a certain amount of money in the bank? Is it a certain number of clients? Is it a certain number of positive reviews? Is it that you, I don't know, speak in certain on a certain stage if you're a speaker? What is that criteria? How do you know that you achieved your goal when you achieve it? And from there, do and be. So first step is be, yeah? And very often, especially when we go a bit into woo-woo and, law of attraction, and we start feeling into the feelings, and that's fine. I'll just move the comments. Very often, we go into being. So, if you think that about that yourself as that the end result of your goal, about that successful businesswoman that runs successful business that brings in I don't know, let's say 50,000 a month. I don't know what your goal is. So as that successful woman, yeah, how do you need to be? So you need to be, you need to have a full responsibility for your business. And again, go through that list that you made of what do you think successful businesswoman, what it takes to be that. So, okay, let's say you have to be completely, totally responsible for your own actions, yeah, and for your own business, for your own actions. And if you employ someone for their actions too, because that's your team, you employ them, they work for you. Let's say, you have to have accountability. I keep talking for responsibility and accountability, but I think they are so important. They're probably the most important things. What else, do you have to have good communication skills? Do you have to be brave? Do you have to be fearless? Do you have to take action, a quick action taker? So all those things that, how you need to be. But then we normally, when you think about it, we go it from the wrong angle. We start thinking, okay, so that woman, what does she look like? What does her day look like? What does she do with her time? And, I know for myself that every time I used to think about it, I would imagine myself, that powerful, strong woman standing somewhere, either on a stage, with the size 12, UK size 12 body, which is healthy, and I go to the gym every day or every other day, and I train and I look after myself and blah, 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 blah. But that's, do I actually need all of that to run successful business, to go to the gym? Yeah, it's helpful, but there are so many fat people that are very successful in business, and some people they can't even walk. Let's say they've got some kind of disability, but they still run successful business. So that is not a must. But we have that ideal view in our heads. But even if it is your goal, I need to have a, let's say, a healthy body, and in a much smaller size, so I can fit into clothes and I can look nicely, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then we don't go to the next step. So, okay, so what do I need to do? What do I need to do? We do go to the next step. Okay, I need to go to the gym. But then the next step would be, so what kind of person do I need to be that goes to the gym every day? If it's something like you're struggling with, let's say, leads generation, and you're not approaching people, or you're not following up. Let's say you message someone, and they messaged you back, and they messaged you back, but you just don't follow up. You're just kind of scared to open that messenger or email and to look what they said, in case they're gonna say, no, I don't need you, I don't want you, I'm not interested. And a lot of people say that, and it's fine. So what do you need to do? So here we, instead of being, we are looking at our behavior. And that is very, very crucial to identity change. To change that identity, you need to look at your behavior. Because we are how we behave. You cannot say, that I am a nice person when I don't act as a nice person. You can't call yourself that. You can't call someone not nice person when they act as a nice person. So here you need to start looking at your behavior. And I keep talking about behavior and talking and talking and talking, but this is so crucial. This is the step where this is where it's hard. This is where shit hits the fan. And this is where people don't want to go. But that is crucial. You cannot, outsmart your brain. Maybe you can. And then you go into the next stage where you have. So just to recap everything, the identity change requires you to look at, go and do the list. What kind of identity do you think you need to adopt for that goal? Think, what kind of person do you need to be, and how that person behaves. And then from that list that you've done, how, what those people do that are successful, rate yourself against, okay, from that responsibility, 1 out of 10, what am I? Accountability, 1 out of 10. Communication, 1 out of 10, what am I? Am I 10? Am I 1? Am I 5? Or whatever. And decide which one is the most important, and take small steps, small steps. And it's literally, you have to think about what is the small step that might scare you a bit, but not too much, you can take every day to get yourself into that state that you're looking for. And literally plan it in your day. You have to think about it in advance and plan it until you're used to that, doing it automatically. So what I wanted to say at the end